Alrighty guys, welcome back to the Combustion Gamer YouTube channel and Roadcraft. That's right, we've got the beautiful I believe this is supposed to be like an F2 or probably F350, honestly, as I'm looking at it. Beautiful looking truck, absolutely awesome. Got a interesting logo on there on the moment, but anyways, this is Florida Rescue here. And we're currently working on issues in the area. And we're going to show you a little bit of gameplay, try to explain a little bit of what's going on. So let's get into what I've seen so far. Couldn't really do much of a video in the beginning, as wasn't feeling super good, but feel pretty decent now. As you can see right here, we got a bit of an issue that we'll get into. So let's look at the game so far. So far, this is part 2 of the first map you get, so it kind of feels like what it is like you have like chapters. So our first chapter, we started out all the way out here, and we slowly worked away through mission points until we ended up having, until we reached 100%. Then once we reached 100%, we got like chapter 2, where basically the flood came in, totally took out this abandoned facility right here, which used to be only slightly underwater. Now it's completely underwater, and we've had a bunch of infrastructure areas kind of get torn up all the way throughout here. So kind of an issue that we got going on. What we got going on over here right now is that we need to be able to get a convoy to be able to get to this town right here. We also need access back to this area over here at the moment. It's be kind of helpful. But our main objective over here is getting the pipe facility back up and running. So we're going to have to work on that. But we've got convoys going from our port here, and you can kind of see where they're going. And we ended up having to come through here and basically pave this entire route because it just got so torn up that the vehicles couldn't get through. And that has only happened with the vehicles coming through here back and forth. So as your convoy vehicles make their way through, they will totally tear up the road and slowly make it sink and rut. So technically you could have issues where you have to come through and totally redo paved sections to make sure that they can get through safely. Because as you can see right here, we have this little rock slide with a low area here with water. And so this is causing major issues where the vehicles just cannot get through. So that's causing us grief. We got this bridge built here. Didn't totally get it lined up correctly, but you know what? It worked. And then we've got this road here paved into town, which is helping us get access into here. We got a gas distribution center up here. I think we need to be working on a pipe somewhere up here. That's something that's got to be done, I believe. But yeah, it's kind of interesting how the game has worked so far. So let's try and get into that. So obviously we got need maintenance. So you can see right here, this is where the vehicles are getting stuck, cannot get through. So that's being our issue. We have our objectives that pop up through here, which is really nice. You can see our side mission and also our main. And also, I love the map where you can actually watch the vehicles come through. It is just so cool. But you're going to watch him have some trouble through here, as this is just getting so rutted. It is really causing issues for those guys to be able to get through. So that's definitely part of our problem here. So we need to work on that. Let's see, we got our sand quarry right here, which I believe if we go to, there should be one of these things that shows us the sand quarry. I forget which one it is, but one of this shows us the radius of how fast, how close we can use the sand quarries at. I forget which button that is though. It was really helpful because it showed you just how far all of that was, how far out. Because the sand quarries are definitely, compared to the demo, much smaller in radius to where you can reload your dump trucks compared to what we saw in the demo. You can also see we got multiple routes that we really could use to get going there. So that's something that we could use to get to work on. But yeah, the sand quarry for sure. Definitely much smaller of an area. Luckily, there's plenty of materials around to be able to get construction done pretty easy. The biggest thing is just transporting them to different areas. That's definitely difficult. And yeah, it's just mind-boggling the game. So let's try and get into shop here for a moment and try to get you some info. So come over here to the base. We got our shop here. This is all of the vehicles that are currently out or available for us to take out and be able to use. So these are all our vehicles currently available and being used at the moment. Now we can go to the shop and we can see right here we've got our vehicles that are in game, but we haven't reached our star level to be able to unlock a lot of these. So that's currently what we got going on. We got our cargo crane truck right here that we could buy if we needed to. So that's our in-game cash right there. We've got our dump. We've got our cargo truck. We've got our asphalt roller, which we could buy a new one. Currently, we've got a one that's used currently, so we've got some used material. We got our tracked heavy dump. This one's actually available now. Don't have enough money to unlock it yet, but it's there. And then I think once you get that unlocked, it works for whatever you need it to. I think we also got the Hummer there, and we got all of our other vehicles here as well. We got our light equipment transporter, which is nice. But yeah, you see a lot of these have not been unlocked either by objectives that haven't been reached yet, or by our star rating, which we haven't upped that quite yet. So a lot of these we still have not unlocked, but are slowly unlocking. But instead of just having vehicles you can just call, you do have a price tag on those, which is pretty interesting. But lots of vehicles in here nonetheless. Now taking a look at let's see if I can find it. Yeah, so this right here, so obviously materials. You can take your materials to this right here. So this is like your storage zone. And so you can put materials in, and then this is where I believe you take materials out, if I remember correctly. But that will pop up how many materials you have, and you can pop those up at any one of your storage facilities, wherever there is one. I don't think we have one over here. I think our main storage facility... Yeah, our storage facility is over here. So this is our storage facility right there, harbor base. We got another storage facility somewhere. Well, this had been one, but currently this one's shut down. It had been a base for us, but currently is not our base. Here's a warehouse over here. So this is another warehouse. So see, we're needing to be able to get a route from this over to here, but a lot of these roads are torn up at the moment, and we don't have enough manpower to get the this filled in with sand and stuff. So that is currently not happening at the moment. So we would like to get something running here, but at the moment just can't quite get that done with the materials we have at the moment. So we've got to work on that. But yeah, so all of these materials, they should stock up in your main base, and then you can take them in, take them out with the crane, load it up into a truck, and you can transport those fairly easily. Slowly learning the crane mechanics, and those seem to be helping me out figuring out how to work those pretty easy. So that's nice. And then obviously we got all the different cranes at the different facilities. You got this one right here, and then you had there were two cranes over here. You can see the tracks right here where we had to rebuild this wall, and so that was fun to be able to do. But yeah, lots of different cranes that pop up in the different I'm going to call them chapters of the missions. I'm not sure what they would want to call it, but I'm going to call them chapters at the moment. But first chapter was over all on this side, getting some materials done. Now we've got chapter 2, where we're trying to expand our map reach here, and trying to get some pipe stuff done. So you can see power substation right here, and then our gas power plant. They're not meeting, so we got to get those met with some new pipes. So we got a piping facility right over here that we can work with. So anyways, we got that going on. Then we've got our fuel. So what our fuel is, this is kind of interesting. So let me see if I can find this vehicle. We've got this guy right here, and he is the Starlink. Is that what is that what it's called? Hold on. Hold on, I can't find where my vehicle is. It's a vehicle here. Yeah, so this is the TheCombustionGamer. I have no idea how you pronounce that thing. But it's like a tracked, basically mobile base that you can use. And there we go, we got another storage facility right over here. But, so this thing you can actually use to help recall different vehicles to wherever this is. So wherever this is like your mobile base. You can recall or recover vehicles directly to it. What that does, though, is that costs you gas cans. So gas cans That's currency to be able to recover vehicles by using your mobile base. So far, I haven't used that. Have just recalled them to one of these bases to be able to save that. But if you want something where you need a vehicle recalled to it really quick so that's in the same zone, you can drive this to wherever that zone is and then recall the vehicle that might be stuck or whatever directly to it. And that's going to cost you one gas can of gas can currency to be able to get that there. So that's what that's going to cost you. So everything basically very, very similar. Obviously, you got the like max angle, max sections 20, and then it gives you how many concrete slabs you need with the bridges. So far, we only have one type of bridge at the moment. Ooh, hello. Oh, and this is cool. So this is showing you where your resources are. So this is cool. So this is showing us where our wood resources are, and that's all in this area. That's cool. And then we got infrastructure. Don't see. Oh yeah, so it's showing us all of our infrastructure right here. So that's what's that showing. And then this is showing our sand quarries. Here we go. Yeah, so this is our sand quarry area that we can get our sand from. So you kind of see it's kind of limited to some degree, which is kind of annoying. I'm not sure if that changes with like better infrastructure of the roads. Like how big of a range you get. It seems like this might have expanded once I paved this area, but I'm not totally sure if that's actually what happened. But it does seem like this has expanded some, which is nice. But yeah, this is your sand quarry zone that you can use, and then obviously you can turn all of that off and not have to look at any of it, or you could look at just each little bit. So you see we got plenty of wood and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Then you got your list of vehicles you can go through, and then you can enter directly through there. You got your objectives and infrastructure all right through here, and this shows you all your different infrastructure that might need to be worked on. Let's see, broken pipes. That's not really showing me where the broken pipes are, but it's showing me where the broken pipes are connected to, for sure. So that's good to know. And then obviously you can see your power. We don't have any power coming from these. That's what we need to connect. And then roads. You have no requests. This shows our requests for any road builds and whatnot that need to be done. So that's our requests for stuff that pops up, and then this is the request. So that's what that is, infrastructure requests. And this shows you just all of it all together. So you can plot route right here. That's going to reward you with 4 gas cans, 550 on the your overall rating and whatnot, which is pretty cool. So pretty neat. And then obviously, let me exit out here for just a moment. As soon as I get my button. So let's return to the hub here for just a second, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with how it looks. So yeah, so see, it looks like this is all one map. We haven't finished any of this yet. We got our first like precipice part, that's done. Then we've got our aftermath, that's what we're working on currently. And so it looks like you got 2 different sections that you can start working on once you get to here. Then once you get one of these done, then you can go to 3, and it keeps going on throughout that. But basically, it feels like it's like chapter 1, kind of, that gets you the basic map to get you to start working on getting some infrastructure done, and then this feels like chapter 2, and then it kind of keeps expanding the map, but it's also just it's changing up what has happened disaster-wise, which is interesting. So it's pretty cool so far, all things considered. So pretty neat. So overall, I liked it so far, and we're going to get back into the game and actually show you some gameplay here as soon as we get back into the mission. One thing that you will notice, there is no fuel that you use with the vehicles. There's no real damage to the vehicles. So that would be kind of nice to have in some ways, but also it is kind of nice just to be able to play around with just getting the work done. Obviously, if you flip the vehicle over onto its side, the engine does stall, so you can't use it anymore until you recover it or get it flipped back over. All things considered, it's definitely enjoyable. I definitely like it so far. It's definitely more of a relaxing game, and I definitely would recommend it because it helps you kind of learn some infrastructure stuff, learn how to get that fixed, and visually the game is just incredible and looks really good on my Omen screen here, which I do have linked down in the description below if you want to get a new gaming screen. It's definitely a nice one. It has really good resolution, all things considered. Alright, so now we're back here. Get this truck parked right there. We're going to go ahead and hit our parking brake and lower our ramp. There we go. I keep trying to drive this like farm sim, and that just does not work because no, I cannot hit the same key bindings to be able to get stuff to turn on or off. It's kind of sad. Alright, so we're going to get our dump truck. I think we can get over to the bridge here, and we should be able to grab some sand, I think. See, I think that's where that realm is. There we go, we can get sand right here, sweet. Alrighty. So with that, we're going to go ahead and try and get more of this road here paved as much as we can. It's going to take some work, but we're going to get it done. Because it's gotten so torn up over here, it is really ridiculous. See, we got some nice concrete slabs over to right there. You can see that. Not sure what's going on there with the tipper. Kind of weird. Try and pave this too, I think, while we're at it, as this area is getting kind of torn up with how much we're using it. Should be able to fill up right here. Now, we can't pour sand here, but we can get our sand right here at the edge, which is nice. But yeah, we're gonna try and get all of this nice and filled in. So what they call, so when you find vehicles, they call it inheriting vehicles, is what they call it. So instead of like having to buy vehicles, you can just inherit vehicles that are already on the map. You can actually go and sell or retain these vehicles for money, which is pretty interesting. I haven't seen an option to actually sell the vehicles for money yet. And I need to use my bulldozer here and get this evened out for our buddy that's going to be coming through. He's going to want this to be as smooth as possible here. Get that barrel out of the way. But yeah, you can just see how low this area is. It's just so stinking low. Here comes a buddy. We're going to want to get out of his way here. Yeah, we hear you. Dude, I can't get out of the way when you hit me. These poor, sad people. But yeah, you can just see how stinking low this whole area got. And so being able to get this evened out will definitely be helpful for the infrastructure, because it is sadly overrun with ruts. So you go and get my dump truck back here again. I'm going to get another load of sand, and then you can see this whole area is getting torn up as well. So you have to be within a certain range of the quarry to be able to get that sand still, but it is nice that kind of limits how easy that is. You have to have it within a zone to be able to use it, and we need some more sand right here because this area is just low. Basically, you have unlimited sand, which is just incredible. So I can buy new equipment and get it painted in the paint scheme of the company that I've set up here, which is pretty cool. Obviously, that would be like Florida Rescue. I think I mentioned that already. There we go. Get some more sand loaded up. While that's loading up, we're going to get back to the grader. Get this graded out here. But you can just see how terribly rutted this whole area is. It's just insane. We could just do sand, but we're going to go ahead and work on getting this paved while we're here, because it's just obnoxiously rutting with how low it is and everything. We're going to have to get some more sand back in that area too. That's okay. We will get that done. And then probably get this whole area paved, honestly, because it's just sadly overrun with ruts. It's just not one of the best areas here. That sand smoothed out. But yeah, I love the building of roads physics. It is just really, really, really cool. And being able to have almost unlimited supplies, which isn't necessarily realistic, but just being able to have that much supplies to be able to get this done, that's also really, really cool. Slowly getting this nice and smoothed out. We'll run it over with some asphalt, and that should help us out quite a bit here. And then we'll go back and do the little intersection there and get that paved out once we get our vehicles moved. But just this area was causing a lot of grief with the vehicles getting stuck. So having this ever so slightly smoothed out, really, really, really important for us to be able to have that done. You'd come through and do one more smooth out pass here, and then we should be good to start paving. But yeah, not a whole lot has changed physics-wise. Everything feels about the same in the physics department as it did in the demo. Got some pretty good force feedback, all things considered, so that is nice. Not a whole lot changed there. But yeah, it's definitely a fun game. I love it. Enjoy it. Definitely would recommend it because it's just nice, relaxing, and fun to be able to do. And definitely plenty to discover still, which is really, really nice. Get this nice and smooth as much as we can through here. Alright, there we go. So let's go ahead and get some of these rocks pushed back here. Let's see, I need to move my truck here. Oh, sure, we'll go ahead and get the old steamroller rolled off. But yeah, we need to get this area covered in sand, and then we need to pave it, because as I said, just major intersection for both me and everybody else that's coming through there, and just it needs to be able to be worked on enough so that it's not going to be an issue. Also, you can see a rut starting right there, so that's right through here is an issue, so we need to get that paved as well. So we will get to work on that, get my truck moved out and out of the way here. See if we can get that area smoothed out some as well. But yeah, beautiful looking truck. I like the mud physics and everything. It looks nice. But yeah, that is a beautiful looking truck. And when you start up your company, you can select whether or not you want to choose the Range Rover, your team colors, team scheme, and everything. So plenty of options when it comes to that. Alright, so now it's time to get this intersection filled in with some dirt. As you can see, yeah, it's starting to rut through here too. So yeah, just getting this whole area covered up and resurfaced will be mucho, mucho helpful. Back through here, hit the dozer. I wish that would actually work, but unfortunately it doesn't. But yeah, we just need to fill up that whole area with sand and get that resurfaced. Love playing in the sand, that is for sure. And that sandbox ad that they did with this is definitely accurate in my case. Definitely one of the things I love doing was using the different equipment to be able to pave roads. And I'd get some pretty nice paved roads going, all things considered, in the sandbox. So definitely very reminiscent of that. Was fun because it had a little steamroller. They actually really smoothed out the roads quite nicely. It was really, really good. Really good Tonka truck, I think. Or something similar. I'm not sure if it was Tonka or something else, but it was definitely in that realm, and it did a really, really good job of getting some nice, smooth dirt roads made. Alright, so we're getting this whole area smoothed out is what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and get some sand through here, Because that whole area right through there is just, it is getting rutted up really good. So we'll go ahead and get as much sand here as we can. We're going to get this whole area smoothed out as far as we can get. Because right through here is getting rutted up. So let's get all of this nice and taken care of while we are here.
I know a guy with an Apache. He's got a V8 in the hood. He's got a little lift 33s. She runs pretty good. But if you want to see a real truck, well boy, take a look at mine. If you really want to tear it up, there's only one way to get it done. I'm talking about a F100 Coyote engine with a 6-speed under it. And I'm gonna take it to the swamp, gonna bury it in the mud. I ain't gonna stop until I get stuck, then I'm gonna hit the gas, burning fuel fast. Don't need no jacked up diesel or a power stroke. I'm talking about a F100. There's nothing like a blue short bed with a long list of things done. It don't matter if it ain't fast, long as she pulls good in the mud. So go and tell your little buddy to go and start her up. Tell him I'll be waiting on him in the middle of the swamp. I'm talking about a F100 Coyote engine with a 6-speed under it. And I'm gonna take it to the swamp, gonna bury it in the mud. I ain't gonna stop until I get stuck, then I'm gonna hit the gas, burning fuel fast. Don't need no jacked up diesel or a power stroke. I'm talking about a F100. Well, I guess we all got our favorites, but you don't know what you're missing without a truck. I'm talking about a F100 Coyote engine with a 6-speed under it. And I'm gonna take it to the swamp, gonna bury it in the mud. I ain't gonna stop until I get stuck, then I'm gonna hit the gas, burning fuel fast. Don't need no jacked up diesel or a power stroke. I'm talking about a F100. Well, I guess we all got our favorites, but you don't know what you're missing without a truck.
Alright, there you go, guys. We have gotten this area paved, so it's actually a hardened surface now. I'm going to go take a look at the rest of this area. You can see right here, this is still soft sand. Just kind of surveying to see what the wear and tear on the road is, and the road looks pretty decent, all things considered. Not a whole lot of wear and tear going on, so it looks like everything should be able to make it through all the way down here. So that's important. So coming through, looking at the interior view, we got our music album and everything going on inside. We're coming on down here, you can see it's a pretty rough road, all things considered, but compared to the giant holes that we were having and guys getting stuck, definitely improved. Now we could still use to get that resurfaced. That could definitely be done, but all things considered, definitely a lot better than it was. And then we need to come through and redo this. So this is probably going to be our next project, just to get this all taken care of. But now, let's come to infrastructure and our route. Let's dispatch. Okay, back to infrastructure here and dispatch. And we got all of our vehicles out of the way, so let's watch these guys get to work here. But yeah, this area right here is getting torn up, as you can see right there, so that's going to be a bit of an issue later on. Now, obviously, we could really use this road back here to be kind of widened, but we're going to work with what we got at the moment. We're going to double check, make sure our vehicles can get through this area, and then once that's done, we'll probably call it a day. But there's definitely more missions here. We've got more work to get taken care of. Yeah, that's getting pretty torn up, so we need to come through and pave that. And then this, we really need just to come back through and try and fix it out. But yeah, watching our trucks come through here. This is a big load truck. Yeah, that's much better because he was getting stuck in the mud through there. So now he should be able to get all the way to the facility across the bridge there. Yeah, much better. And I forgot we got vehicles on the bridge in his way. Sorry, yep, trying to back up, sorry about that, yep, sorry, yep, I know, you can't possibly do anything. Alright, so we know that's going to work, it's just we had stuff on the bridge, and I forgot that we had stuff on the bridge, but as long as we don't have stuff on the bridge, we're good. Get that back going. But yeah, you can see this guy right here, he's going to be much happier. He's going to have the bounce, but you can work with that for sure. Yeah, because that's much smoother. So we got another one of our F250, F350s coming on through. But yeah, having all of this nice and smooth out the way that it is definitely a huge improvement compared to what it was. So definitely like that. So anyways, guys, that's about it for us here today. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. I hope I gave you a little bit of an idea of what's going on with Roadcraft. There's not probably wasn't as detailed as I could have been, but just trying to go through overload to some degree on what all is going on here. Gonna get my paver. Come on, dude. Let's go. There we go. Moving our paver along. Yep, and of course he's gonna come right there. Yep, so you gotta make sure you have all your stuff out of the road before the vehicles can get through. But anyways, I think we've got our vehicles and stuff moving back along, so that's going to be helpful. We got a major rainstorm coming in right now, but yeah, huge work has been accomplished right here just in infrastructure. But yeah, we got bridges and other things that we really need to work on. So anyways, guys, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and beautiful look at our F350 right there. It looks absolutely awesome. But we'll see you guys here next time. Bye bye.